What's going on, everyone? I am DeFi Sean, and you are watching Krypton Cause Investing, back with a crypto market update. Now, I know leading up to the election, I was basically doing a crypto market update every single day. Now, I purposefully didn't do a video yesterday, as I kind of wanted to give a little bit of breathing room between when Donald Trump was elected and then kind of now, 24 or 48 hours later, so we kind of see exactly where everything might be starting to settle. Now, our crypto market cap since the election, I want to say it was at about 2.33 when I did my video Friday. We're at 2.53 trillion. 24-hour volume is at 141 billion, down 30%, but still almost double where our last video was. I want to say we were about 78 billion. Now we're down 30%, but still at 141 billion. Fear and greed was in 40s or 50s. Now we're at 70. Now BTC dominance has dropped. We were slightly over 60. We're at 58.94%. But let's go ahead and take a look at our blue chip cryptos and see exactly how they're holding up. Now, Bitcoin has held up nicely, right at around 76,000, even almost 24 or 48 hours, after the election. Same thing with Ethereum, was around 2.5 thousand. We're at 2.8 thousand. Bitcoin up 2%, ETH up 7% the last 24 hours. Solana closing in on the 200 mark, up 3%. BNB closing in on the 600 mark, up 2%. Dogecoin, wild ride, up from about 15-16 cents to 19 cents. Shiba Inu is up 2% or 2 3/4 the last 24 hours. Pepe, our most volatile, up 13%. My favorite investment, Kronos, up 3%. But with all that said, let's go ahead and take a little bit deeper dive into exactly what's going on and check out some different articles. So first up, we have Bitcoin surges 10%. Now, the most exciting part of a Trump presidency, of course, in my opinion, is hopefully we are going to see wider crypto adoption and, even more importantly, weaker regulation. Not just weaker regulation either, but hopefully clearer regulation, which would allow some crypto companies to bring their stuff back into the US so they're not in Singapore, the Cayman Islands, and different things like that. So that's what I'm hoping to see. Crypto adoption, but more importantly, weaker/clearer regulations. Now, what exactly happened right after the Trump election? The price of the flagship cryptocurrency went up to 76,000 and then reaching an all-time high of 76.4 thousand. Now, some analysts predicted 80,000 right after his victory. Didn't quite make it there. Some are also predicting $125,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2024. Now, historically, according to 2012, 2016, and 2020, the all-time high, or the highest point of the cycle, is usually a year after the election. So a year from now, could we have $150,000, $200,000 Bitcoin? Very, very possible. Now, not just Bitcoin, but what happened with some other coins? And again, we kind of went over this in our previous segment, but let's see exactly what happened right after the election. Ether surged 11%. Solana rocketed 13%. XRP went up 5%. And then, of course, the big daddy meme coin, Dogecoin, went up more than 15%. Now, getting outside of crypto, going into the stock market, Coinbase, now still related to crypto, but still in the stock market, Coinbase surged 31%, with, of course, our favorite company, MicroStrategies, surging a whopping 13%. So as you can see, right after the election happened, a lot of big time movement. Obviously, people are very bullish with the announcement of a Trump presidency. But let's go ahead and dive again into some more articles and see what's going on. So the number one question, Trump's now president-elect. What happens with crypto and what does he promise? So here's what Trump's promise. Donald Trump branded himself as the pro-crypto candidate, which we went over in multiple videos. He definitely did. The former president promised to launch a strategic national crypto stockpile if elected to a second term. And then crypto market, as we've talked about, surged above 75,000. So as Donald Trump celebrates his prospective victory on election night at Mar-a-Lago, he also joined by a roster of high-profile supporters, and of course, the usual Elon Musk, Robert F. Kennedy, all that good stuff. But exactly what's he going to be doing with crypto? This was one of the major, in my opinion, a major promise that he made was strategic national crypto stockpile. So what exactly does that mean? Now, all this was talked about in Nashville in July. If you haven't watched his full speech for that Bitcoin conference in Nashville, highly recommend hopping on over to YouTube and checking it out. It was a pretty good speech. If you're interested in crypto, which if you're watching this video, you definitely are, you'll definitely be bullish listening to that speech. So Trump headlined the biggest Bitcoin conference of the year. In his keynote address, the former president said that if he returned to the White House, he would ensure the federal government never sells off its Bitcoin holding, which I forget the exact number. It's a lot of Bitcoin though. However, he stopped short of promising a formal Federal Reserve, a digital currency. For too long, our government has violated the cardinal rule that every Bitcoiner knows: never sell your Bitcoin. So Trump pledged to maintain the current level of Bitcoin holdings that the U.S. has amassed from seizing assets from financial criminals. So again, he's looking to, at the very least, not sell any of that. Essentially would mean that Bitcoin is for all intents and purposes burned. If I am elected, it will be the policy of my administration, United States of America, to keep 100% of all Bitcoin the U.S. government currently holds or requires in the future. Currently, the U.S. Marshal Service's Bitcoin, as well as other cryptocurrencies held in the country's coffers such as Ether and Litecoin, these sales can sometimes trigger drops in crypto prices like earlier in the year. So he hasn't necessarily promised an official stockpile, but what he is seeing is he's going to see to it that Bitcoin or crypto assets are never sold. On day one, something that I know everyone in crypto will love, fire Gary Gensler. Of course, my biggest critique of him is that people are getting arrested in different things like that. And if you're stealing, that's one thing. But arresting people for security fraud and different stuff when there's no clear regulation, again, in my opinion, not fair at all. You can't arrest someone, and of course, remember, all this is my opinion. You can't arrest someone for not knowing the law, saying basically, hey, I know we didn't necessarily say that was a law, but hey, you did it, we didn't like it, let's go ahead and arrest you and charge you. On day one, I will fire Gensler, Trump said, reinforcing that Joe Biden appointed SEC chairman who has taken an aggressive approach to crypto regulation. The president does not have the power to fire. The president does not have the power to fire the SEC chair. Even if Trump were to appoint a new chairman, Gensler would remain commissioner on the independent agency. Gensler has brought more than 100 actions against crypto firms during his tenure at the helm of the commission. In multiple interviews, the SEC chair has said he believes much of the industry already belongs under his jurisdiction, and his lawsuits are simply bringing the sector under compliance. Again, though, state what the exact rules are. Put official regulations in place if you're going to do that. Crypto firms argue that the recent legal battles haven't given the regulatory clarity, which is exactly my point, the industry has been seeking, and they instead reflect a gross overreach by the commission. Trump also vowed to create a Bitcoin and crypto presidential advisory council. The rules will be written by people who love your industry, not that hate your industry. This is another thing. Currently, I think the somewhat rules they are making are being made by people that don't want to see the industry succeed. We need lawmakers that want to see the crypto sector succeed. Trump has expressly spoken out about his qualms with Senator Elizabeth Warren, who is widely viewed by the crypto community as an existential threat, which again, she is. Another huge point, all Bitcoin mined in America. So in June, about a dozen Bitcoin mining executives and experts sat down with Trump for an hour and a half in a small tea room at the Mar-a-Lago Club. The closed-door session marked the first time the former president took a meeting with the technologicalists, securing the 1.5 trillion Bitcoin network by running large banks off of high-powered machines. The intimate gathering brought together a coalition of some of the biggest private and public American miners in the business. You can check them all out here. Less than 4 hours after Trump's roundtable wrapped, the former president took to the social media to extol the virtues of the Bitcoin mining business. If crypto is going to define the future, I want it to be mined, minted, and made in the U.S. Now, this is obviously huge bullish news if they do make America the Bitcoin capital or mining capital of the world. So, again, is Trump going to stick to his promises to the crypto community? Time will tell. I'm leaning towards the fact that he is. If he does make these changes, it will be super bullish, probably the most bullish information that we've ever had in crypto. Clear regulation, the freedom to be able to operate and do and build within this community and within this industry is something that would just, I think, propel crypto and Bitcoin to all new heights. But yeah, that's it for the articles. Let's go ahead and check out and see exactly what the DeFi and the meme market's been doing. Typically, it starts at the top, kind of trickles down. Usually it takes a little bit of time, but let's see if we had any big time movement in those two markets. All right, taking a look at that DeFi market, we do have a $100+ billion DeFi market with $8.1 billion in volume. So didn't take too long to trickle down. Already way up there. Avalanche, Chainlink, Uniswap, typical top three. See if we had any major gainers. Radium up 23%, Maple up 20%, and ENA up 19%. And last but not least, our meme market. So meme market is up to $67 billion with $12.3 billion in volume. Of course, we got the Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, Pepe. Those are pretty much never going to change. Now, do we have some big top gainers? So Maneki is up 54%. Of course, Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, is up 46%. We have Mode up 40%. We have Nero, covered on the channel, up 36%. Sundog up 35%. Of course, Peanut the Squirrel up 31%. So as you can see, the meme market in particular is going just as crazy as the blue chips are. So really good to see that, as we do tons of token reviews and different things on this channel. But comment down below and let me know what you think. Is this going to continue? Is Donald Trump going to do what he says he's going to do? Time will tell, but again, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And that's going to do it for today's video. And until next time, trade safe.